Welcome to In Under 10 Minutes. I'm Stevie W.
And Callum,
Okay, I know we were having a few weeks ago, but the Universal Pictures versus Cineworld and AMC Odeon. How Universal, the AMC chain, which also includes the Odeon in that, and Cineworld have their decision to reject new films made by the studio over their policies of releasing things streaming and digital while the virus is going, and how it could shape their future releases. And basically, AMC, Odeon, and Cineworld have said that they're not going to show any new films by them. So, what do you think?
our both our views. Like, if our listeners will know, we've got quite strong views on streaming as it is compared to cinema. But in this instance, I didn't have that much sort of hate towards it because you obviously can't go to the cinema at the moment. Um, and I don't know if that's likely to change in a month or two. But I mean, if you can get the film at home and pay whatever it is to rent it, and I didn't have a problem with that because it was like a sort of needs must situation, and you do save the money not buying 30 quid's worth of food and drink. But I think it's kind of stupid to sort of, you know, to reject it just because of, an entire studio's output. Just because I don't know. I've got funny feelings about this. What about you?
Yeah, I think the films that they've released so far are going to be, from from a cinema standpoint, I do understand where the cinemas are coming from, as the studios could use that as an excuse to say, well, we can cut the middleman out now and make more money through the amount of
Yeah,
money we're saving through the press junkets. Then you got all the advertisements and everything. So by going straight to streaming, we don't have to. You cut out so much promotion, and if this works, it could basically damage a lot of their future releases, except for the very rare marquee movies. So
yeah,
it's gonna so that would kill a lot of the cinemas theoretically if all the studios said that's it, we're only going to release X amount of films a year, where we're going to put some of the big names straight onto the streaming. As and at times like this, if the studio finds it can make more money but doing it with a video on demand way, then they will suddenly start cutting back by the cinema chain saying, okay, you're doing this now, we're gonna stop showing you films. It's kind of like saying they're both wanting the whole power situation. It's the cinemas
yeah,
trying to say, well, we're not going to show your films. And Universal, if I'm right, Universal are the ones that have got the new James Bond film, so that's going to affect the box office of that. And then again, you've got next year, you've got Jurassic World Dominion, which is also Universal. So it's a bit of a it's a bit of an interesting one. Personally, all the films that have been released video on demand so far are films that I wouldn't go and see in the cinema, so it's not really affected me
yeah.
anyway.
Same. I
And
mean, I think the only one I would have probably went to see was The Invisible Man, but I didn't. Me and my fiance were looking at it, and we were just thinking, it's £15 to rent it, and do we really want to watch? Like, I don't know. Like, I understand why they're doing the whole streaming, new films at the moment because you can't get in the cinemas, but I don't want that to continue, if I'm honest, because then you could end up with like we so hated the Annihilation situation.
I'm still very annoyed
Yeah, so
about
my
yeah, Annihilation. I was fuming.
and I think I was even more annoyed at The Irishman. I've still not seen it,
Me
but it
neither.
was just it's put me off because it's on Netflix. Even just the whole idea of it being on, Martin Scorsese, like one of the greatest directors, is like on Netflix, and the same with Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Like the idea of where it's been put puts me off watching them.
Yeah, because it says the film can't be that good if it's going straight onto streaming. It's the I know.
Yeah,
And Buster Scruggs is fantastic, and I know we would have went to the cinema to see The Irishman, but because it's there, you can watch it anytime, and it's sitting down
yeah,
in your home with so many distractions, so you can't sit through a 3 hour epic in one sitting. And that's the beauty of cinema. When you pay for the money for the ticket, you have to sit down and you have to concentrate in the dark,
yeah,
and that's what I love about the whole cinema experience is you get to concentrate. No phones, no annoying things coming up because
In
everything's
theory.
away. Yeah, and oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not talk about those assholes at
Oh, God,
Skywalker.
no.
That was
That's
really
probably
annoyed
the
me.
only advantage to like watching it at home.
Yeah, but as a rule,
You
when we
control who enters your home.
that's true. But
But it's not worth. I don't think it's worth dethroning cinema as
no,
the dominant media for film. I it's it's sad because I remember growing up, and you probably remember even more than me, that if something was direct to video, it was like, oh, it was always the money. That's why they'd done it, and it was like didn't even bother trying to release it because it was so awful. But that sort of synonymous attitude of it's been put straight on somewhere directly right away without a cinema release still carries over. I still think must have been shite in some way, and it's sad because Annihilation's not shite at all.
Annihilation is brilliant, but the studio didn't like what they were given.
Yeah.
Rather than, I mean, the quality was superb, and this one I would love to see at the cinema.
Well, I mean, it's. I watched that first, and then at your recommendation, watched Ex Machina, and I thought, like, how does one get, cinema release? And I know the circumstances are probably different, but it just baffles me that that's a modern way of accepting new films. I don't know. It's just weird.
I suppose it's a good way of selling a streaming service, but we've got the new Alex Garland film. Who actually says they want to go out and buy a streaming service or even get it for a trial just because it's got an Alex Garland film on it, unless you're a hardcore
Yeah.
fan. And I had to wait a while before they did the Blu-ray of it, and but seeing something with Oscar Isaac and Natalie Portman from the director of Ex Machina. I mean, Annihilation should have been cinema release. It should have, and it does.
Yeah.
People are going, "Well, it's on Netflix," like you said. And yes, when I was growing up, the straight to video was just the B movies. One studios, like you said, you
Yeah.
have no faith in. So
Like, I think the connotation of that was always there, wasn't it? Oh, if it's direct video, it must be lower quality.
yeah,
Whereas it wasn't always the case. I mean, there was a lot of theatrical stuff that was released that was absolutely dross as well.
yeah. But then again, the
But
studios could throw a lot of money on a lot of crap in those days.
yeah, you can market them easier, can't you?
So yeah, but
Yeah, I mean that's like a parallel to like the only closest parallel I could think to what's going on here. Like, I mean, initially I did think, well, I don't really care about Universal anyway. What if they make Fast and Furious, which I could do. I do enjoy, but I could probably do without.
yeah,
I didn't realise Bond was Universal till it was pointed out to me.
yeah.
Because I think aren't they sort of doing like any studio can do a Bond film now,
Yeah.
like if they apply sort of thing.
They can distribute it. It's Eon still.
Yeah.
So,
Because it was Columbia last time, wasn't it?
yeah, it's whoever's got the distribution rights because because Eon owns it. It's just the distribution rights.
Yeah, I mean, but apart from that, I'm not really bothered about the last Jurassic Park film, and I can't think of anything else they do that I would be like, oh no, I don't know about this.
Not off the top of my head. They're not the big wig
No.
they used to be.
I think of the big sort of 4 or 5 film studios, they're sort of at the bottom now, aren't they? Really?
Yeah. But as long as they can hold on to their key players, and maybe it'll be better for
and
them.
James Bond's a big title
Yeah.
as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't think it'll kill the cinema.
No.
But I think
No, I don't think
eventually
so, no.
they'll bow down. The cinemas chains will bow down
Oh,
just so that they can get
yeah.
Bond and.
They'll do
Otherwise,
the Spider-Man
Yeah.
Sony Disney thing
Yeah.
again.
Definitely, it keeps everything's names relevant. So we're coming in under 10 minutes. I'm Stevie W. That's been our thoughts.
And Callum, see you later.